South African prosecutors yet to be satisfied with punishment meted on Oscar Pistorius. Libya's military experts display weapons and materials confiscated from the Islamic State militants. And then Ethiopian and Swedish scientists make an interesting discovery in the prevention of the deadly malaria. Network Africa begins right now. Thanks for joining us on the program. I am Bisi Adebayo. It's not over yet in the case concerning South African athlete Oscar Pistorius' murder of his girlfriend, Viva Steenkamp. Although the court in Pretoria sentenced him to 6 years in jail, the country's prosecutors argue the sentence is inappropriate for the crime of murder and was, according to them, shockingly too lenient. Pistorius was initially given a 5-year term for manslaughter, but was found guilty of murder on appeal last December. Pistorius has admitted shooting Viva, but denies it was on purpose. He had acted out of fear, he said. As for Viva's parents, June and Barry, they released a statement saying they're in full support of their counsel, Jerry Nell, and his team's fight for Viva, but are now focusing their energies on the upcoming official media launch of what would have been Viva's 30th birthday on August the 19th. The politics now. A court in Gambia has sentenced prominent lawyer Ousseynou Dabroye and 18 of his supporters to 3 years in jail for what it said was a lawful assembly and for holding a protest without permit. Dabroye was arrested after taking part in a small protest near the capital, Banjul. He was accompanied by senior members of his party, the United Democratic Party. Justice Eunice Hoshim convicted them for unlawful assembly for viciously interfering with vehicles and holding a procession without a permit and disobeying an order to disperse. Protests are rare in Gambia, and even rights group confess President Yahya Jammeh, who has ruled for 2 decades, has been cracking down on opposition figures in recent months as the country draws closer to presidential elections in December. The transportation of thousands of migrants across the Mediterranean is yet to abate, while more are still trying to make their way across, albeit to their own detriment. Humanitarian group Médecins Sans Frontières says the latest mishap on the high seas happened very recently as the bodies of 21 women and 1 man were found on a migrant boat on the Mediterranean, where the group helped with the rescue of more than 200 survivors from the rubber boat and transferred them to one of its own boats. The bodies, it said, had been on the boat for hours. It gave no further details, but said that as of Monday, some 79,861 migrants had arrived in Italy by sea in 2016, while 3,000 migrants have died or gone missing in the Mediterranean. And in Turkey, the president has declared a state of emergency for 3 months following Friday night's failed army coup. Speaking at the presidential palace in Ankara, President Tayyip Erdogan vowed that all the viruses within the armed forces will be cleansed. But analysts say the declaration could be used to extend the detention of thousands of people rounded up since the failed coup.
Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan declared a 3-month state of emergency in an attempt to shore up last week's failed military coup and bring stability to the country. He called the emergency state necessary to cure a virus from the military, saying it was fully in line with the constitution. Nearly 250 people have been killed since the attempted coup, and since then, the government has been purging members of judicial, military, civil service and education in the aftermath of the attempted coup. But the international community has expressed concern about the crackdown.
I won't hide from you that also we have serious concerns about the way this seems to be happening right now. We don't have all the information, but it's clear that there are serious concerns, that we also want to send a strong message on the need to respect the rule of law in Turkey. I think that is important. Turkey is a partner of us, and we are working together in a community of values, and it's important that they are respected.
Mr. Edwin accuses Mr. Fethullah Gulen, a long-time U.S. resident of Pennsylvania, of masterminding the coup. But a spokesman for Mr. Gulen says he denies the charge.
These two main thoughts and feelings about the coup. First of all, a rejection and condemnation. But secondly, a strong worry that this coup might be used and will be used to victimize Hizmet participants. Because a witch hunt already began in Turkey in 2014. And now the government might use this coup as an excuse to further escalate the crackdown and target Hizmet sympathizers.
Meanwhile, Washington says Ankara must provide clear evidence of Mr. Gulen's involvement before it considers extraditing him.
Well, joining me now to get more perspective on the impact of the state of emergency is Fidelis Umba. He's a journalist in Turkey. Fidelis, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Amarachi.
Now, it's busy here. Well, can you give us a sense of what security is like at the moment in Turkey?
Well, there's so much tension. People are actually going about their business. Along the roads, there are a lot of security people deployed to maintain law and order. But there's so much, apprehension. People don't know what's going to happen next. People are actually more like worried that, a similar incident might actually play out, because there are fears that some people who are sympathetic to the coup plotters might still have some plans up their sleeves. So people are actually not taking chances. Government is not taking chances, which is why at every turn you see either military people or the police deployed across major roads. But people, if there's free transport for people, every day people are Turkish people mainly with their flags are going out to rallies, holding like solidarity rallies in support of President Erdogan, and also trying to uphold the democratic process in Turkey.
Oh, what's the reaction to this newly imposed state of emergency?
Well, since the announcement last night, people have been trying to find out exactly what it means, imposing a state of emergency at this point in time, because the president did say that he will be in full control of the military and that democratic values will not be compromised. But then there's been like an order for everyone affiliated to government or working for government, that's like civil servants or those contracted by the Turkish government, not to travel out of the country. And the presidency did say that the measure is to ensure that investigations are not tampered with, and that all those they require for investigations are present in the country. Even those who had gone on vacation or were on annual leave have been recalled back to their duty stations. So people are getting to learn gradually how this state of emergency is going to unfold. But so far, there is no show of force anywhere, just a few military people and police by the street corners trying to maintain law and order.
Well, Fidelis, let's talk about the Nigerian community in Turkey. How are they reacting to the aftermath of the failed coup on Friday?
After the failed coup on Friday, just 2 days ago, the Nigerian community organized some members here in Istanbul, the commercial capital, to join the protest, that's to join the solidarity rally organized by the Turkish people. They went there with their Nigerian flags. There's a video of it which they shared among the community people. People have been also posting on social media trying to show, support to the Turkish people who vehemently resisted the coup in Turkey and made it impossible for the soldiers to take control of power. So far, Nigerians are just trying to more like lend their support to the Turkish people in their resolve to ensure that democracy thrives in the country.
All right, thank you very much, Fidelis, for talking to us on the program. When Network Africa returns after the break, Libya says its military was not aware of France's presence following the downing of a French helicopter on Wednesday. Do stay with us.